Our next speakers are Terri and Phoenix Shipman. Both knew at an early age that something was different about them. Terri caught on to that fact when she was 11. At the age of 25, she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder, only to find out 10 years later that her diagnosis was actually PTSD, dissociative identity disorder, borderline personality disorder, and ADHD. Phoenix, at the age of 5, knew when she went to school that something was different. It wasn't until she was 32 that she was finally diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type, as well as borderline personality disorder. Both Terri and Phoenix were struggling in 2002 when they first met. Here's Terri and Phoenix with An Unlikely Love Story.
Walking into my therapist's office, I didn't know it was today. Today, she'd finally introduced me to that other client who was coming in next. I didn't know at first what was going on. We finished the session, and I was walking out of her door, and there she was. The person that would change my life forever. The person who I would one day call my wife, right there in front of me. I passed along my phone number and expected, like everyone else, she would lose it, and there would be another chance wasted.
My name was finally called to go back to my therapist's office. As I walk through the door, I see her, taller than me, a head full of thick curls, black hair, brown eyes. Oh, those eyes. You know, I thought that love at first sight was a jewelry store ad, but wow, here it is. It really does happen just like that.
We met a couple times in town, over coffee or Chinese. We would have long conversations and phone calls. Then one day she said she had to leave to go to Las Vegas to be closer to her brother because she could not live alone with just her SSI.
We met a couple times for coffee or Chinese, and due to financial hardships and missing my twin, I returned to Vegas. All I could do was hope that somehow, somewhere we would meet again.
When she left, we were friends. I still had an ex who you could say was bound and determined to make my life miserable. And times were tough for me financially, too. I had a dog and several cats in this little rundown trailer. Ellie Mae, my golden retriever, and I would cut up potatoes in the morning and fry them up with eggs, and that would be the meal for the rest of the day. I worked odd jobs, McDonald's and Walmart, mostly dead-end jobs. SSDI doesn't go far either. I had no family close by, and we weren't speaking anyways.
We emailed and called over the next 2 years. Occasionally, we would talk for what seemed like hours. And in September of 2004, I called and we talked for 4 hours. Funny how you remember specific details like that.
During the next 2 years, I worked on myself, the anger, the nonsense with my ex, and the old shit that was dragging me around. Somehow, somewhere, Phoenix knew I would be hers no matter how many times I tried to push her away.
You know, we talked every day, and on March 5th, 2005, she pulled up an old beat-up pickup truck. I'd never seen a more beautiful sight.
It was that fateful day in 2005 that I took my 15-year-old pickup truck from Iowa to Las Vegas nonstop to go get the love of my life and bring her back to where we met.
We drove straight through to Iowa and had a blast doing it. Trust for both of us was difficult at best. Life's traumas and mental health issues for both of us makes trust very difficult. But little by little, our trust for each other grew.
Back in Iowa, things were normal for me, including being hospitalized most times. I can't even explain how hard it is for me to trust someone, and this included Phoenix. Then I was seeing a therapist and she retired. And then I started getting comfortable with another therapist and she retired. This all had happened over a 3-year period.
Back in Iowa, we began to build our life together. Between hospitalizations for both of us, Our love grew and we came to build a strong life together.
I never believed anyone would love me with all the baggage, and really, why would they? Each time I pushed Phoenix away, the more she seemed to push back. This always made me feel that we were meant to be.
You know, I had previously been in a disastrous marriage. My mental illness had made it even worse, and I was scared. In April 2009, gay marriage became legal in Iowa, and on September 19th of that year, we made it official. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon, 72 degrees, a slight breeze, blue sky, and it was perfect. And in my eyes, my new wife was perfect too.
Everything seemed to change about 2009. Phoenix and I had fought to get gay marriage legalized, and it was. In September, we got married, and with my memory problems, I only remembered my best friend crashing the ceremony just before we said I do.
The black dog of depression returned, time and time again for both of us. But for Terri, this time was much, much worse.
I'd been working steady and enjoying my job and life, but like always, that wasn't enough to prove to myself or to others that I was normal. I quickly crashed, and another bout of depression, and I was back in the hospital.
After trying everything to make her depression go away, between myself, Terri, and the doctor, we decided to try electroconvulsive treatments, or ECTs.
Between the years of 2010 and 2013, I received 44 of those ECTs. So now, not only having very little short-term memory, my long-term memory was all messed up too. All of this was caused by my mental health diagnosis and the ECTs.
It wasn't easy by any means, but we continued to make it through and through. Our love not only survived, it thrived, despite Terri's depression and PTSD and my schizoaffective disorder.
Phoenix proved to me throughout this time that no matter what, she would continue to be by my side, something that nobody had done before.
It's amazed me that no matter what life throws at us, Terri remains by my side. This month, it will be 12 years since she pulled up in that beat old pickup truck, and 8 years since we married. The adventure continues, but our love grows, and we will continue to be by each other's side. Thank you.